with a side service. Point from the service by the Ghanaian player all the way from Accra, Ghana. They showed extreme excellence as they represented their country in anticipation of the Africa Games that were held recently in Ghana. That was recently, I think last month, for the Africa Games. We've gone into a water break session as Tumukunde is having a moment with her coach, that is Coach Dan, national coach of Rwanda, and the Ghanaian player as well goes to her coach for some advice in anticipation of winning the second game, rather the second set. This is a game of a best of 5 group stages. Having with the crowd cheers having as she takes on the first point of the second set. She tries that side spin again. She really loves that service. There's a match that she used that one service the whole tournament. Places the ball just exactly where Coach Dan seems to have done an excellent job with the advice that she has given. Seems to get a little bit of luck there with the placement of the ball. The power convinced her to it is amazing how these ladies have the skill to be able to take the balls back on with a lot of energy onto the table. The spins displayed right now on table number 2 are quite amazing. The crowd cheers her on as she takes a 2-point difference between her and Cynthia. We've seen Cynthia's doing those slow top spins all the way from the beginning of the games, even in the Africa Cup that was held recently. Cynthia with the service. Tries the top spin again, whoever spins it right off the table. Pavin quite comfortable with this set, waiting on every mistake that Kwabi Cynthia is making. The umpire calls for a stoppage of the game. Another ball had entered their mini arena. Chops right into the Tumukunde having seems to be gathering more and more funds. Voice from the fans seems to be giving her morale to increase the difference between her and her opponent, Kwabi Cynthia here. Tries the placement in the different sides of the table to Cynthia, however, she fails to put the balls. Another luck point by Kwabi Cynthia as the ball touches the edge and falls straight outside. Whoa. Whoa. Amazing play by Kwabi Cynthia, the Ghanaian, all the way from Accra. Kwabi Cynthia with the service. Very lucky pointer. You'd tell your opponent sorry, but the joy you're feeling in your heart. Kwabi with the service again. And she seals the second set. Best of 5. Just one more set to be able to take on to the next stage. Different players right here on table number 2 getting the advice from their coaches. A big shout out to some of the sponsors that we have today. We have the Rwanda Air. It can fly you all the way here to the heart. It wouldn't actually take you so long to get from the airport up to the arena. It would be a road journey of 10 minutes. We have Equity Bank, having all your money transactions secure and easily accessible. Yes, the third set beginning right here on table 2. We have Kwabi Cynthia in black from Ghana in Accra. Then we have Cynthia Tumukunde, the Rwandan. Tries to put in a little bit of a top spin right there with the placement as well. A tomahawk service with some under spin. Came back floating in the air. She simply smashed it onto her backhand. Amazing play by both players. Cynthia with the service here. The spins in the balls that Kwabi is sending to Tumukunde seem to be having a lot of spin. We've seen her place that ball into the net, like you've just witnessed very often. Give me the balls on my forehand and I'll show you the top spins that I can offer right now. It's one of the good weapons she has in her gallery. Very ready to use them at any point. And the umpire calls for a timeout session. Cynthia Kwabi seems to simply be taking on the game quite easily. Tumukunde having, she has the fighting spirit. We've seen her before, especially at the East Africa Regional Championships, as she took on Team Kenya as well as Team Madagascar. They were one of Team Kenya. She was one of the people that, rather Team Madagascar, she was one of the people that led the win, securing in the top 4 positions of the female singles. Now she goes back onto the table to be able to take on the Ghanaian Kwabi Cynthia, who has traveled all the way from Ghana to qualify into the Paris Olympics. Cynthia with the service. Starts with that underspin with a short service. The difference between the two is quite convincing that Kwabi is going to take on this set just like she did for the first two. Kwabi with the service again. Seems to be doing wonders. Oh, touches not the table, but the forehead of having Tumukunde with the service. Fails to put it onto the table. A comeback is possible anytime soon. Tries to place it down the line onto her forehand. However, unfortunately, touches net holder, goes straight off the table. And she seals the game. Kwabi Cynthia winning the game against the Rwandan in red, the other side. Tumukunde having, I think this is her first win according to the group stages. And Tumukunde having taken on yet another loss. A lot of more action is coming. Stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe. It has been Isaac with you. Thank you for watching. A lot more action is coming. We have more games.
jona kuwesi mulu gamba direte ugiteekaawo teekaawo essimu wali ku kamera teekaawo essimu
Well, another game between the Mauritius player in red, Hussein Zan, and the side in green, the player all the way from Zayan with the service. Zayan the Mauritius with the service. And Nemra Shredder with the receiving of the very deceptive and fast by the Zayan. Nemra Shredder is all the way from Morocco to bring her table tennis entertainment right here in Rwanda. Simple placement on his backhand, then onto his forehand, giving him those points, 3-point difference. A little bit of luck there as it touches the net. Zayan with the service. We've seen Zayan take on many good players. He's a good player as well. I think he's the number one of Mauritius, the national team. The flick by the very exceptional and good as well. Very good placement by Zayan onto his forehand with that powerful smash that he fails to. Zan with the service. And secures yet another point, putting them all three. He thought he really had it there. Unfortunately, simply got the ball. Didn't even. Effortless point by Celebrate as him trying to make a short comeback. Nine, 7. Zan looks forward to take on the very first set. The shoelaces could cause very many problems. Player could tangle himself right into a table and losing very many points, tying off his shoes. Coach cheers him on as he's anticipating to Zan is simply placing him into two different positions, his back and his forehand, to get all these points. The way he missed that ball, quite shocking and surprising as well. A very nice flick by all the way from Morocco to flick it onto the table. I'd be quite surprised of how the ball was going to spin right back onto the table. Very nice tomahawk service. Another day, another skill. We've watched Zan taking on different players. One of the best matches we've watched was the one where he took on a Ugandan player in Djibouti called Chuma Benjamin. It was an exciting match that drew attention of very many people, and they met themselves again in the East Africa Regional Championships that were held last year in Uganda. And Zan this time round didn't meet Chuma Benjamin, the one that he drew attention with while playing the games with. However, he met Uganda's number one, that was Senyonga Jonathan, in the team events. I think that was the semi-finals. However, Jonathan was able to secure that win. Now, Zan has taken on to the very first set of the game. No coach on his touchline to be able to give him some little bit of advice or call for a timeout. But he knows he will win all the way alone. Very good player all the way from Bobasin. Whoever plays that backhand better than the opponent will be able to secure the point, and Zion seems to have been quite comfortable with taking that shot. However, tries that backhand, and Nemras gives away the very first point of the second set. Trying to play, tucking every ball. The placement by Zion quite exceptional. 4-2. Nemras with 4 points, 2 points ahead. Anytime soon we are seeing a comeback by... Oh! It is amazing how Nemras gives away that tomahawk service, and he secured quite some good points from that service from this very player. And the difference between the players keeps on increasing, and Zion just tries to level it up, but just before reaching the level. See the placements by Zion, very phenomenal and exceptional as well. Nemras trying to keep that comfortable lead. Umpire raises the score, trying to show the public, and anytime soon we're about to witness a comeback between these two players. The tomahawk service again seems to have an impact on Zion. Hussein Zan with the service. A little bit of placement as well by Nemras Reda from Morocco. Spins it into the net. Every time Zan is trying to make a full comeback. A little bit of a winner by Nemras, securing his first. Two. The agility on the player's feet is quite exceptional. Oh, tries it forehand down into his forehand as well. The ball touches the edge of the racket and goes straight out the table. Flicks it onto his net. Zan fighting with everything that he has to take on this set with the deceptive service. The placement down the line quite easy for him. Nemras with the service. Chops a very high ball, floats right into the air. The power mixed with the flick and the technique by this player is exceptional. Zan all the way from Mauritius in Bubasin with the service. Oh, he tries it. Tries that spin down the line and spins it into the net, reducing the difference between him and Nemras from Morocco. Hey. Nemras with a fighting spirit, trying to even up the levels. He has that service all figured out. It could easily take points from Zan. It has taken over 6 points, and he's willing to use it again and again. And the comeback goes through, and now he's leading by over 1 point. Zan with the service here. Tries to give it a little bit of a chop under the table. Doesn't even make it. Cheers himself on as he has sealed the 2 difference between him and the trying to put in those flicks again as he's trying to increase the difference between him and the player Zan from Morocco. Mauritius. Very good placement. The frustration seems to be getting in onto Zan. The game started on quite well as he took the first set. Players trying to get more creative as the game is getting towards the very end. Still the second set. What a good comeback by Nemras Reda all the way from Morocco. they go back onto the table to be able to seal it down, find out who the winner for this game would be. We are still in the group stages of the qualification for, that is, the Olympics. Tries to be careful, however, was more careful with the top spin, spinned it into the net. Nemras with the service. Zion figured out, I think, the trick to the service that Nemras was playing. That little bit of a tomahawk, and now he's coming in quite handy as well. He knows how important this set is, and he's trying to keep the lead. It is not a play that very many players will be comfortable with. If someone starts making those counters, the coach calls Nemras to give him a little bit of advice, gives him some water to take to reduce on the heat, because the pressure is increasing right here on table number 2. Zion with the service. A simple ball-to-ball play by Nemras. Secure him an even score. A little bit quite easy as he makes that side step to secure this second point difference between him and Zion. Zion with the service. Tries to place it down the line again. A lot of spin as well. Quite creative. Second time he's trying out that deep chop from under the table, however. Both of the times he's trying it out. Quite disappointing. Tries the tomahawk service quite very fast to secure him another point. Zion with the service. the placement and the accuracy in the it's quite phenomenal by Nemras. Anytime soon he will be able to take on the and just like that he wins the game against Zion. So Nemras, I think he'll go on to the next stages of the game. We are still in group stages for the Olympics qualifiers. Well, another match, exciting match. The sound of table tennis is what you're listening to right now. And we have two players from two exciting countries. It's going to be a very serious game right here. The first player this side in yellow, all the way from Ghana, is Emmanuel. And the other side we have Batic, Elaine. I think Batic went all the way to the semi-finals, rather the quarter-finals. A very serious game by both these players. A lot of action is going to be seen. They've gone into a session of Emmanuel taking on the very first service. The placement down the line is quite accurate by the Ghanaian. A little bit of a play with a side spin by Batic. He has been advised to change shots and put on a shot that has his name at the back. Batic has a short pimple on his forehand. However, you can't really tell if it is a forward or back. He just keeps on twisting and twisting. Quite deceptive. The side spins that he puts in the balls are confusing the Ghanaian. However, he's coming in quite handy as well. Have a 3-3 game. And Emmanuel with the service. One side spin for you and one side spin for me. The energy and the placement by Emmanuel. Emmanuel having all 2 points in the pocket. He was actually quite ready for any of those balls coming out. Give them a spin with a lot of energy. Oh, nice play by Batic. However, Emmanuel seems to be quite more confident than we expected. Trying to make a very short comeback here because Emmanuel has already reached the game point. Batic with the service. Oh, chase himself quite on from 10-6 to 10-9. Takes one of the first 2 points for those that are getting to land the spot at this point where it is 10-10. Player has to get 2 points ahead of the opponent. Now it is 11-11. The first to reach the 2 points ahead of the opponent will win the points. And Emmanuel here with the service. 12-11. Emmanuel with the 12. Tries to give in a little bit of energy with the backspin there. Was a lot and spinned it right into this net. Emmanuel with the service. Every time. This is very exciting. Every time he gets onto the advantage, Batic seems to be. Oh. And he steals a very fast set. What an amazing play with the top spins after the pimple was returned. But it's with a very good play as well, interchanging the racket. Player all the way from Cameroon, having Jalim, a Mauritius player, coaching him. Oh, keep sending back onto the table. I have no energy. I have no time to waste. Just keep on hitting them straight to your side until you give up. Or you send them elsewhere. What an amazing play by places him exceptionally well. Of a 6-point difference. Deceptive with the service as well. Coming in quite handy with that backhand of his. Game point to Batic's quite comfortable with this lead. And they've gone into a water break. And Batic's getting all the advice from Jalim, all the way from Mauritius. And she's seemingly giving them exceptional and good advice, for he has already won a full set after her coming onto board to give him the advice. Ghanaian player Emmanuel still receiving the advice from the national coach. Emmanuel starting the third set with the service. I think Batic seems to have understood exactly where the weakness is. Starts all the way very powerful. Pushing that pimple onto his forehand, backhand. The level of aggression witnessed in this game is quite exceptional. Oh, amazing. Amazing play by Batic as he brings those balls back onto the table. However, a placement by Emmanuel. It's not quite very many players in the arena right now that can bring those balls back onto the table with that force being released by Emmanuel. His teammates like to call him McCoy. Batic with the service. Sends the forehand straight into the net. And Emmanuel serves again. Every time he receives that service onto his backhand, side steps and gives it a top spin. Eh? These players, the level of creativity is increasing and the pressure as well, as they seem to get closer to the end of the match, for they need simply 2 more sets to win best of 5. Very nice comeback by Emmanuel. Gets a little bit of an advantage of over 2 points. The level at which he twists his racket in response to receiving all those hard balls is very creative. He's the only player that I've seen sending them back onto the table in a very unique way. Very nice play by the Ghanaian. Flicks that pimple onto his forehand and was quite confused actually. Tries to use all the energy that he has, however, the energy didn't seem to have it coming in handy to help him at all, and he gave him the second set. One more set to be anticipated for Batic. If he wins the next game, he will have won this game. It is a best of 5, still in the group stages. With a lot of confidence, he goes back onto the table earlier than Emmanuel because he knows he found where the weak point was. Even though he lost the very first set, he's quite confident enough that he will be able to take this set. However, Emmanuel as well is a very brilliant player. all the way from Ghana. Quite deceptive with the way he changes his racket. The sound of that pimple, every time you hear it, somewhat a little bit of confusion here by Emmanuel on the table. The club, everyone cheers Batic Son as he takes those good points. Very nice play by Emmanuel. Emmanuel simply waits onto the table thinking, what kind of service can I get to trick this command? Touches the edge. Very lucky shot for the man. Flicks it into the net. Is not having any problem with having 3 points in the lead. Emmanuel with the service. Immediately attacks that ball. Two good points by Emmanuel coming in from the services. Quite crucial and important for any player, especially these professional players when it comes to such a crucial stage like this. Batic seems to be quite comfortable with everything that he's doing onto the table. He simply waits for Emmanuel to get back to be able to finish it off. Olympics qualifiers in the heart of Kigali, in the heart of Rwanda, in Kigali rather. The pimple seems to be having the effect on the Emmanuel man. Is quite surprised as well. Screams out a little bit of a shout saying, oh, the placement down the line. Those are the very many points that he has been able to get on his backhand. Think he should be aiming there for now. Places it there, and first time it touches, the second time the middle fails to. Steals the game, and it is a win for Batic's 11-7, 3-1 by the Cameroonian. Thank you for watching. It has been Isaac with you. Stay tuned for more upcoming games.